Thank you. We praise God. Allahu Akbar means God is greater. He's greater, as one of the prophets in the Bible says. He was going to build a temple, and he wanted to build a temple to the worship of God. And he said, I know that this temple is not big enough to hold you. He said, not even the skies of skies, that means all this, what is out of space, and the earth could hold you. And Muslims, we say that, following the purity of revelation that began with the first messenger or prophet of God, and began really with the creation of man, Adam himself. We accept all of it in our holy book. Says we believe in all of it. We believe in what God revealed to the prophets, Noah, and all the other prophets, and we do not reject any of them. We believe in what he revealed, all of it. This is Islam. This is teaching of Quran, Islam. And what I want to bring to your attention today, in the theme that we have chosen, the theme that we have chosen is the world is moving forward according to prophecy. It is moving forward to more, to bring us into situations that require us to have more and more responsibility in our own hands for our own life and situation. In the neighborhood, wherever we are being brought by the will of God to a situation on this earth where all of us, individuals in our sane minds, will have, even children, will have to accept more responsibility for ourselves, because the world is too crowded, too busy, governments are too burdened, parents are too burdened, the world itself is too burdened, our neighborhoods are too burdened, city life is too burdened. We're too burdened to excuse anyone from their responsibility that their own life demands of them. God created us to have a life, and that life demands of us certain attention, that certain attention be given to it, and that attention shouldn't be put in the hands of others. We have to accept to give our life that attention ourselves. And that's why the message of God comes, whether it is Old Testament religion, or whether it is before the Old Testament, or others who came with the Old Testament. There are other religions that the Quran recognizes. God says to us in our holy book, there are many prophets and messengers of God that are not named in the book. So we must accept then that there were many other messengers and prophets of God. They are not all named in Scripture. And those who came later in time, like Moses, and like Jesus Christ, and then Muhammad, peace be on all the servants of God, they all brought us the same message, that God created everything, and that man is created for responsibility. Not just man alone. Man there means mankind. It means all people. That God created all people for responsibility. And when we read in our language, of religious language, that God's purpose in creating us was for his mercy. And then he says also that for his mercy, we have to understand that this has two meanings. Muhammad the prophet, the last of the prophets, he taught us that whatever is given as the word of God, Scripture, it has two readings, not one. And whatever he has taught, he said, has two readings, not one. So the obvious reading, if God says that he created human beings for his mercy, if the obvious meaning is that God does not want us to be cruel to each other, and he does not want us to be the victims of cruelty, but he wants both the rulers and those who are ruled by the rulers to be merciful. Be merciful to yourselves and those who rule us. God obligates them to be merciful to those that they rule over. And be merciful to those that they have power over. He says, وَسِعَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا وَرَحْمَةً, which in the language of our holy book it says, he has obligated everything by the rule of knowledge and mercy. Knowledge and mercy. Now, so we can see, if we study history, I'm a student of history, if we study history, we can see the growth of cities and the growth of the population of people on this earth and the growth of their activities, how their activities grow and kind of interlock. They come together. They grow and come together. And they are referring to what is now in the language of the government's one world order. America uses this language. One world order. This is referring to the world order that has been brought about by material dynamics, material growth and development, and the influence of material growth and development, the effect of material growth and development on our cultural life, on our souls, on our spirituality, on our souls. The effect of that is creating a one world order. We used to see people behaving much different from one another, thinking much different, behaving much different, but now we see whether people are Asians or Africans or Europeans or Arabs or whatever, we see on the television that they're coming into one behavior. And Ebony did a special once on the Browning of America, and Ebony was showing how the spiritual influence, the entertainment, black entertainment, and the spirit of black entertainment, how it has affected people, especially white Americans. They used to didn't behave as they behave. They used to didn't dance as they dance now. They used to didn't sing as they sing now. They didn't have the musical life that they have now. They didn't have the rhythms that they have now. They didn't have the musical spirit that they have now. So our life has affected their life. But not only their life now, also the life of people around the world, because the world is so interconnected that you cannot sneeze here without it also happening across the water. You sneeze here, somebody will sneeze across the water. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you get sick here, somebody will get sick there in time. It's going to spread. Sickness spread and health spread. Germs spread, whether they're healthy germs or bad germs. Yes. So you catch people now and they can't speak English. They're speaking in their own foreign language. You can't understand a word they're saying. But they're doing this. Low five and high five, some skin, low five. We know where that came from. That came from us. Came from us in America, in our neighborhoods. We didn't know it was going to get out of our neighborhoods. When we were doing that, we didn't have any knowledge that the white man was going to start doing that in America. Now it's going all the way across the ocean. People over there speaking names, you can't understand a word he's saying, and he's doing, hey, get some skin, bro. He's saying it in his language. Hey, give me five. Now one on the high side, baby. Our language going all over the world. Yes. So the world is becoming one world order. That's what it's becoming. One world order. But that world grew out of material dynamics. It's the product of material dynamics. Money, income, jobs, industry. And industry affects the soul so that the soul has to respond to it. When the soul responds to industry, we see culture. Culture is a response to material development. That's what culture is. Culture is a response to material development. Just as the culture we call grass, plants, fruit, these things, flowers, this is culture too. This is culture, but in the natural world, in the physical world. And it is responding to the earth, the material earth. You put the right things in the earth, rain hits it, water comes to it, or water comes to it, up comes living things. And we think of a rich culture like we think of a rich greenery, a rich plant life, a rich environment of greenery and plants, etc. That's how we think of a rich culture. We have to understand then that we are living in a world that has grown to its fullness. It has grown to its fullness. The boats could not go to every land. And that was only less than 1,500 or 1,600 years ago. The boats could not go to every land. But now they can go to every land. Boats could go to every land. Planes can go everywhere. Transportation has connected people all over the world. The world has become connected by transportation, modern transportation. And it's connected by modern technology, television, communication systems. Brings us to belong to one world. One world. And it's crowded with people. And there are demands on it for certain behavior. But the nations are too overburdened to guarantee anybody's behavior gonna be good. They can't. No matter what they do, they can't guarantee you that you will have a safe neighborhood. They can't guarantee that. Police department, no matter how much money we spend on it, no matter how much money we give law enforcement, courts and whatever, it's not going to guarantee us that we're going to be safe at home. We still have to live with the possibility, knowing that there's a possibility, someone may break in the home, someone may shoot inside the house, one may run, some drunk or doped up person may run his car, into my house and kill somebody in the bedroom or damage the house and have to tear the whole house down. That happened recently. Yes. A vehicle hit a house and destroyed the whole house. They had to take the whole thing down. It hit one of the main supports of the house. The whole house had to come down. Yeah, so we're not safe, and it's not going to get less burden. It's going to become more and more burden because populations are growing and business is growing, activities are increasing all the time. So we have to understand that the time that predicted long time ago, that every tub must sit on his own bottom, right. Every man must have his own vine, fig tree, etc. And the Quran says this, that no one will be able to take the burden of another. That is, my life has burdened me. I won't be able to take your burden too. You're going to have to carry yourself. It doesn't mean that I won't be able to help you. I might be able to help you, but I can't take all your burden. You cannot put all your burden on me. You have to be responsible for your own life. And people will help you and assist you, but don't tell them every time your tooth ache that they have to have a toothache. Every time you itch, they have to itch. Your stomach cramp, they have to have a cramp. There's some people just like that. They don't say, hey, I have a stomach cramp, my stomach is cramping, you have to cramp too. They just keep telling you, my stomach cramp, my stomach cramp. It hurt, it hurt, it hurt. But then it takes some more Pepto-Bismol. But they don't stop at that. But it still hurt. Oh, I got a toothache. It won't be that, you know. Oh, he's not treating me right. He didn't come home last night. That's your toothache. Now, I got to take it too. Waking me up 3 o'clock in the morning. He didn't come home. He ain't here yet. We can't live like that. We have to firm up. The leaders of this world have to demand more of the people that they lead. Can't pacify people and make them think that life doesn't require any burden, nothing, they don't have to do anything. That Jesus Christ is a sign. Did he come and say, I'm going to take all your burden, you don't have to do nothing? Yeah, they say he bore the cross. He bore the cross. But didn't he say, take my cross? The same thing I'm doing, you do too? He said it's light, meaning the way he approaches it makes burden light. The cross represents burden and death. Burden can also kill. It represents burden. So he's saying that my burden is light because of the way I approach it. God has made me to approach these burdens the way I do. And if you approach them the way God has made me to approach these burdens, your burden too will be light. That's what he meant when he said, you take my cross, take my cross. My burden is light. He was offering the people a better way to live with the burden of life. Because actually, the cross too is a symbol of life itself in balance. That's the cross. This is the cross. This is life in balance. That's what it means. In the amusement world, the one who walks a tightrope, he has to do this to balance. This gives you better balance. This enables you to balance much better when you hold your arms out like this. So it's a sign of a balanced life and a balanced person. A person that's not going to either extreme, not to the extreme left, not to extreme right, but he's centered where God wants him to be. You see? This is a sign of life too. And he wants you to take up that life. It says, and the burden is light. Is it in Islam? Yes. No burden bearer will be able to bear the burden of another. I won't be able to carry your cross for you. You have to carry your own cross. And again, what is this cross a sign of? A sign of your own body. Your own balance in your own body. That's what it's a sign of. So you carry your own cross means carry your own life. The point that we're making here this afternoon. Be responsible for your own life. So it's contrary, it's not what we think it is. We look at these signs and look at the holy man, look at the righteous, loving man, and we think he's saying, I come here to take on all your sins, give me all your worries, give me your Excedrin headache, and give me all your love problems. Just give me everything that burdens you, and you go free. Try that. You'll go to the mental institution, to jail, to death on the streets, or we'll just waste away. Waste away. I've seen people just waste away. Get thinner and thinner. Every time I see them, a little bit thinner. After a while, I hear they're gone, die. Then they accept responsibility for themselves, waiting on somebody to do everything for them. Time is out for that. We have to teach people that life requires attention. Just like a car or a piece of property. You get it, you have to give it your attention. If you don't, the value of that property goes down, 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 or somebody will take it from you. Sometimes somebody see you not conscious of the thing that has value. They say, well, they don't care about it. They take it. Yeah, governments will take whole countries because they think that people who occupy those lands don't respect the land and don't intend to do anything with the land. So another government will go and invade them and take the whole land from them, take the whole country from them. That happened to the Indians, the natives of this, what we call Indians, the Native Americans. That happened to them. The so-called more advanced Europeans, they came here and found that the Indians living a life that they thought was primitive and backwards. So they thought they had a justification to take over this land, put them on reservations, push them out of the way. This is life. And the time is coming again. The survival of the fittest is a law of nature, a law of the wilderness, a law of the jungle. But believe me, that law is not more serious than it is right now in these big cities. The survival of the fittest. you'll be more apt or more likely to survive in a real jungle with snakes and animals than you will be to survive, trying to survive in some of these big cities, in some of these bad areas of these big cities. You get killed faster there than you will in a jungle where there's supposed to be the natural law of the survival of the fittest. And if you keep up with the news, you keep up with what's happening in the news, they're telling you that we are facing more and more a situation of the survival of the fittest. The unfit are being annihilated. They're being wasted away. They're allowing them to waste themselves away by allowing them to destroy themselves with things that used to be illegal, and they used to enforce it. You couldn't find certain things. Look what they did during Prohibition. Look how they searched for anybody that had alcohol. They're not going to search like that for anybody that's got drugs. They're not going to be that kind of search for those that got drugs. So you use drugs, you can use it right out in the open, right in the public, right in the public's eyes. You can use drugs, and nobody's going to bother you. Every now and then there's an arrest. But there's a freedom to have drugs and have violence and have a corrupt life. There's freedom to have all that. And no one is taking that freedom from us. If anything, we're having more and more temptation coming so that we will be invited to do more and more of those things that destroy us. Right. So that's what's happening. Accept more and more responsibility. Right. Now, we can do marvelous things ourselves if we will just start looking to ourselves more and having more faith in ourselves and our own ability to take charge and have a better life and a better future for ourselves. We can do that for ourselves. We are free in this small town called Markham. Some of our folkloric friends have just walked in. Peace to you. Good afternoon. Yes. Please come join us here. Yes, so this small town will not deny us our freedom to do anything good that we want to do in this town that this town approves of. And we don't have to have vice and bad life, neglected property, rundown property, so eyes everywhere. We don't have to have that. If we want to, we can, on our own initiative, we can take charge of this community, this neighborhood, this community, and make it what we want it to be. We can make it clean, beautiful, and it is. This neighborhood we're in right now, this is Markham. This town is a good town. Good town for family. I live in this town. And the people here are good neighbors. You'll have problems, but not near as many you have in some other towns I know. And they are inviting us to make our contribution. As residents, citizens here in Markham, they are inviting us. The mayor, the police department, the fire department, all of these structures that we have paid our taxes to create and to keep, they work for us and they want to see us work for ourselves. If we want to work for ourselves to make this even a cleaner and even a more peaceful and a more prosperous Markham, they welcome us to do that. If we get our heads together, we put our heads together and plan to do that, we can do that. But we have put our heads together. We have a plan here that's in other places of the United States too. We have collective purchasing plan, collective purchasing conference plan. And this plan is to show poor people of small means, small financial means, show them how they can invest and get more in return than they would if they had that money in a bank account. They get more in return and become partners, equal owners, depending on your share, of course, but equal under the law of our cooperation. You get the same treatment that anyone gets who invests $2 million and all you invested was maybe 200. You get the same protection. You are honored with all the rest of the honors. And we will share with you our vision and show you how we have come as far as we have come. And you can see by how far we have come in a relatively short period of time, you can predict that by the next year, this time, we're going to be even much farther in the road of progress. Yes, we invite Christians, any good people. You believe in God and you mean well, you mean good, you want to see good done by everybody, then you are our brother and our sister. And we love you just as we love the Muslim brother and sister. No different. No different at all. Good is good and bad is bad. Yes. Now, getting back to our theme. So in this theme that we have, the time has come. The time is good. The time is here for bigger and better communities and community life. I want to address the purpose for which God created man. And we said, among the purposes, mercy. He said he created mankind for his mercy. But there are others. He said he created us also that we may be his servants. His servants. Every human being is created to be a servant of God. A servant of God. Now, there are other reasons too. Many reasons that he has created us for. But I've given you the ones that are more in focus, that are talked about more in our religion and our holy book. That is that he created us for his mercy and he created us to serve him. Now, how does his mercy come? Two ways. Come from kindness, the kindness of God, firstly, the kindness of our fellow man, other human beings. But it also comes with the development of the material environment. You develop the material environment, life becomes much more comfortable, less miserable, much less miserable. These modern comforts that we have, we don't want to get rid of them and lose them and go back to the horse and buggy days, or go back to walking miles and miles and miles to get, it won't work today. Life is too busy, life is too demanding, but by the time you get to work, you won't have a job. The boss will tell you, well, I'm sorry, we have done your job for 3 weeks, and we needed you every day. So it doesn't work. The old conditions just won't work, and the new conditions have given us comforts that we didn't have before, conveniences we didn't have before. Couldn't even dream of the conveniences that we have now. Many years or many decades ago or centuries ago, we couldn't even dream of these conveniences. So this the mercy comes by developing your material environment. Develop your material environment, and you make life much more merciful on people. You make it much less miserable on people. Now, with that said, now I can say this. Adam was created to develop the material world. The first man, our father, first father, he was put on earth to develop the material world. However, the material world challenges your best nature. Because as you engage the material world more and more, you give less and less attention to your soul. So after a while, you'll find yourself being materialized instead of spiritualized. And you have to then fight the material influences to get your soul back. You see? Well, that's the dynamics, that's the test of this life that God puts us in. He challenges us. But every test that you stand up to, if you succeed, you're a little stronger after the test than you were before the test, right? Well, God gives us tests to make us stronger, to make the next generation stronger than the first. So man is supposed to grow better with time. He's supposed to grow stronger with time. But when he loses God, as one a pious old man, Muslim from overseas told me, he was Sudanese, he said, Wallace, he said, for everything that we lose, there's something to compensate. That means you can make up. Yeah. The finest woman, you think you can't live without her. But there's something to compensate for her. Maybe a Jaguar or something can take your mind off of her. I don't know what'll take your mind off of her, but something can take your mind off of her. For me, just a beautiful natural scene. I just leave the city and go out to a beautiful natural environment, and I forget her. I forget all my miseries. Yes, so there's something to compensate, you know, something to make up. He said, but Wallace, if you lose God, there's nothing to compensate, nothing to make up for. I love what that man told me, because it spoke to my own heart, spoke to my deep, spoke to into the depths of my own soul. I felt that. Yeah. Yes. So now we look at Adam, and we see Adam in Scripture, and he's given almost in the same picture in both books, the Quran and the Bible. The Bible before the Quran, and the Quran comes after the Bible, and gives Adam almost in the same picture, essentially the same picture of our Father. That he was created with the good nature, he was created with the good form, the good life, but he was vulnerable to influences from without. And the most subtle of all influences is the whispers of Satan, Shaitan, the enemy of all human beings. So in both books, he cast his suggestions, and he caused our Father to slip from the position that God had established him on. And in the Bible, you know, he has a son, Cain. Adam has a son, Cain. In the Quran, we have the same Cain in the Quran, but not given in the same series, in a different series. We have the same Cain. Both Cain is both in the Bible and in the Quran. Now what happened to Cain? Cain slew his brother, and he spilled his brother's blood upon the dry ground. Upon the dry ground. What is this saying? It is saying that Adam was created to develop the material world. He was created to be an industrialist. He didn't see it in his time. He started to work, but his son came, and his son became an industrialist. And his son was also affected by his father's weakness in his weak state after being seduced by the Shaitan, the enemy of all human beings. So his son was born of a father that had been affected, and his son carried that effect. The other son in the Bible story, maybe he didn't carry that effect. I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure I can say that to you. That's why I said maybe. But Cain, he was affected. It's obvious that he was affected. He slew his brother, and spilled his blood on the upon the dry ground. But from Cain, came industrialists. If you read Genesis, you'll see. From him came industrialists. He was the first, he worked the ground. He worked the ground. He was like the farmer. But from the farmer came, all of them were industrialists. Farming, is farming industry or not? Farming is industry. So from him came the material, the industrialists dealing with metals and making tools and etc. and other things developed after him. And then came even the musical instruments. was made by the sons of the same man. So if you read this correctly, you're reading the beginning of industry. Not only the beginning of human race on this planet, but you're reading also the beginning of industry on this planet. Now, let me go back to what I said. God said he has caused everything to come under the rule of knowledge and mercy. Knowledge and mercy. Knowledge and mercy must also come as a result of us engaging the material world. We engage the material world with our intellect, with our curious intellect, our brains, and out come great knowledge. We come upon great knowledge and give the world sciences, etc. But if we don't interact with the material world, we won't see that applied. You have to get the material world too into your interest to see those sciences applied. There remain theories, beliefs, theories, etc. until we engage the material world and start to work with it and using the knowledge, and then we get sciences, education. So look, God has created this world for mercy, for knowledge and mercy. And he created this world for conveniences. He created this world for education. He created this world for the sciences, all of them. Look what he created this world for. The world, you look at the physical world, if you could see the world before any human being was here, before any animal was here, you see the world. Well, if you can imagine looking at that world, he created it for mercy. He created it for human beings. He created it for science, industry, science, education, law and order, building, construction, good life, hospitals, caring for the sick. That's the purpose of the creation of this world. And without the creation of this world, you can't have any of that. None of that can you have. No man has created anything except he used what God created. You hear that? No man has come upon any science except he found what God created. No man has accomplished a thing except with the help God created. And he himself is nothing but a computer made by God. That's all he is. We got to stop living in this world totally detached. Living on the planet Earth that supports life, feeds us, produces our food, shelter, tools that we work with, industry, produces everything, our clothing, everything. And we are detached. We're living detached. We're worse off than the so-called primitive man who worships the river, prays to the rain, to the sky for rain. At least he's not detached. He's in touch with the world that God made. And if he stays there, he won't be killing his children. When you're detached, you kill your own children. I read in the paper the other day, boy shoots his father, kills his father. Some of you need killing fathers, but I don't know about that fella, you know. Some of you need killing because you don't care about your own children. You let your children go to the door. You let them go to jail. And you know where they're going. And see them going there. You know if he keeps that habit up where he's going. But you won't even risk your comforts. You won't risk your life to stop your child from going to his death. So it's no wonder that some of them pick up a gun and just blow their father's brains out. But I don't think we'll do it for that. Probably father was just treating his mother so bad he just couldn't take it anymore. Decided to take dad away. We don't know. This is this burden life, this crazy life we live in. And we can call people back to their senses. Fall in love with God, the Creator, who made everything possible for you and us and all people. Fall in love with his works. Fall in love with his works. Fall in love with the beauty of a clear sky at night. A beautiful crescent moon or full moon. Beautiful bright stars you can see when you go out and way far away from the city lights. You can see a canopy up there just so beautifully decorated. Fall in love with the beautiful works of God. Fall in love with that, and your soul will be touched. Peace will come into you, and you'll change from being a miserable person to a happy and productive person. But you got to become attached again to that God gave to you when he created you in the first place. Huh? Yes, sir. Yes. Don't fear to engage the material world. African Americans rather work for white people or anybody else. Let them plan the future. We ain't gonna accept that anymore. Not us who are in this group. Whether we Muslim or Christian, if you're in this group with us, and we have many friends. I just left Reverend Jackson Push yesterday. I was with him for his morning program. And we agreed to see each other again soon to see what can we do together. We need to work with all good people that's doing good things. Let us work together, all together. We can't do it alone. Impossible. The world was not made for us to be alone and have the benefits of the life. God obligates us to come together to have the full benefits of the life. And Muhammad, the prophet, prayers and peace be on him, and all the servants of God, he said, the blessing is in the number that eats at the same table. If one person eats alone, like some of us blacks want to do, if we're going to plan something, it's got to be for nobody but blacks. I thought our people condemned the white man for doing that a long time ago. Now we're going to start doing it ourselves? So if one person eats alone, listening to and understanding what Muhammad the Prophet said, if one person eats alone, he gets small blessing. If he eats with a second person, he gets a bigger blessing. If he eats with 5, even a bigger blessing. And his blessing increases more and more with the number that he eats with. You know how we used to love Savior's Day? Because we could go to the restaurant and hundreds of us would be sitting down eating together. You know how happy that made us? The blessing is in the numbers. I'm going to conclude this right here, and we're going to continue this theme next Sunday on this tent. And I promise you, I'm not a prophet, but I'm psychic. I promise you, I'm not going to give this up unless I'm in Rome. If I'm in Rome on Sunday, I can't be here. Okay? But when I come back to the United States, I'll be here on this tent on Sunday. Okay? I will be here, and in a few weeks, people are going to be all up against the skirts of this tent. They're going to be all up against the skirts of this tent. They're going to be standing around outside. We're going to have to raise the skirt up so they can see in here, so we all can be looking at each other. Thank you very much. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Once again, brothers and Takbir! 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 Allahu Akbar! Yeah, go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Assalamu alaikum. We look beautiful, don't we? We want to thank y'all for y'all great work. And we got 5 more tickets. We got 5 more tickets. So y'all ready? Are you ready? Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. It'll take me a few minutes. I got to go get them. Don't leave.
Don't go anywhere.
Right here. Right here.
It's not.
Assalamu alaikum, dear believers. I want to ask, Brother Imam, before you leave, dear believers, we just got back from Wisconsin, the Dawah team. We had a wonderful time. We went to promote the Imam's coming event, which is Tuesday, September the 24th. And we'd like to know today, those of you